Hello viewers. So in this video, we'll be looking at solution to exercises 5.3. So which of the following is undefined? If we look at lane, we know that cosine of 180 is -1. So this is going to be lane of -1. And this is undefined because we cannot find the logarithm of a negative number, right? But this one is good because this is cosine of lane 1. We know it's 0, so cosine 0 is equals to 1. This is good. And this one is sine lane 1. Lane 1 is what? 0, right? So this is going to be 0. This also makes sense. Now this is going to be log of lane E. We know lane E is 1. So log of 1 is also 0. And this is going to be log of cosine 0 is 1. So log 1 is also 0. So all of these make sense. The only one that is undefined, it's A. So number 2 is that you have a point, -2 and -3 is on the terminal side of angle theta. Now looking at this point, x is negative, y is negative. This is going to be a point in the fourth quadrant. So this is -2, -3. So here, no, not the fourth quadrant, but third quadrant. Okay. So this is -2, -3. And that means that this distance is going to be -2, and here is going to be -3. So here, remember, it's just to identify that you're on the negative x or y axis, but the actual distance is 2, and the actual distance of y is 3. So what is this? This will be the square root of what? So by Pythagoras, we can get this, which will be the square root of 13, right? So here will be the square root of 13 by Pythagoras theorem. All right, so let's see. What are we looking for? We're looking for 3 sine theta. So 3 sine theta is nothing but 3. What is sine theta? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's going to be -3 over root of 13. And remember, we're in the third quadrant, so it's expected that sine is negative, as we can see here. So this is going to be -9 over root 13. Okay. Now let's see what is 2 cosine theta. Cosine is what? Cosine is adjacent, which is going to be, so you can name here to be x, here to be y, and here to be r, right? So cosine is just x over r, which is what? Which is 2 multiplied by -2 over square root of 13. And this is -4 over square root of 13. So it means that if we are looking for 3 sine theta plus 2 cosine of theta, it's nothing but 3 times what? Okay, we already found it. 3 sine theta is already -9 over root 13. Plus 2 cosine is this one. So here will be just -4 over root 13. And this should give us -13 over root of 13. So we can multiply by rationalizing. And this will give us -13 root 13 over 13. This will go with this, and we'll just have minus root of 13. So similarly here, here we start with this line 4x plus 3 So from here, we can see that 4x is going to be minus 3y. And we can say y is what? Is minus 4 over 3 times x, right? So we can take x to be positive because of this. So if x is positive, let's say x is 3. If x is 3, this will imply that y is going to be minus 4. So we're going to use this 4, 3, this point, 3 and minus 4, to be our terminal point. And as you can see, 3 and minus 4, x is 3, y is negative, x is positive. So we're going to be in the fourth quadrant here. So we can call this point to be 3 and minus 4. What that means is this is 3 and this is minus 4. So this distance is 4, but with a minus. And now we can use Pythagoras theorem. If we use Pythagoras theorem, we will have this to be so by Pythagoras theorem, this will be 16 plus 9. This is going to be 5 here. Okay. So what that means is that we can find what is 5 sine theta is going to be 5 sine theta is y over r, which is 5 times, or y now is minus 4 over 5, right? And this is equals to minus 4. So we have 5 sine theta equals to minus 4. Then we can look for 10 cosine theta is going to be 10 times what? Cosine is what? X over r. So this is actually our x, this is our y, and this is r. Right? So this is going to be 10 times x is 3 over r, which is still 5. So this will give us 6. So if we're dealing with the 2 now, it means we want to what? We want to add. So if you have 5 sine t plus 10 cosine is just what? To just be minus 4 plus 6, right? Which is equals to 2. So the correct answer here, which is A, I think is something is missing here. It's 2. Okay. Now number 4. Number 4 is the thought. It says alpha is the reference angle and beta is the least positive coterminal of minus 240 degrees. Then what is alpha plus beta? So let's find the reference angle here. So of this, so let's say our theta is, and how do you find reference angle? First of all, you find the coterminal because this number is bigger than what? 360. So you can see we have this minus k 360, right? And we can take k to be 2. So we have 75 minus what's yeah, so if you take k to be 2, it's going to be negative. So it means we can take k to be just 1. So we can subtract 360, right? So we can just do that. Here we are using k equals to 1. K equals to 2 will not work because it will become negative. So here, this will give us what? I think 315 degree, right? So this is our coterminal. And now this angle belongs to what? It belongs to quadrant number 4. So the reference, but here we are told that alpha is the reference. So the reference alpha is going to be what? 360 minus 315. So alpha is going to be 45. Okay, is the reference. All right, now we want to find the least positive coterminal angle to minus. So we want to find coterminal to this angle. So we have minus 240 is going to be plus K360, right? And here we can take K to be, we can take K to be 1. If you take K to be 1, you will have minus 240 plus 360, right? And this is nothing but 120 degree. So this is our beta actually. So these are all the coterminal. Then we'll take this to be the beta. Why? Because this one is the least positive. If you take K to be 2, you're going to get positive, but it's going to be bigger than this one. So this is the first positive coterminal that we can get. So it's our smallest. And that is obtainable when K is 1. So alpha plus beta is just going to be 45 plus 120, which is 165. Okay. Right. So now let's do this one. So if you look at this, you have a lot of numbers here, so you can try to do it one by one. Here it's fine. This is cosec. So you can write this as what? You can take this minus outside so that it just become cosec what? 5, 1, or you can make it positive. It's fine. Just make everything positive since it is what? It is negative, right? So this is cosec. Now this one you can add what? We can add 720 to it. Yes, because if you add 360 to it, it will still not be positive. So if you add 720 to it, then it's going to be positive, right? It's going to be positive. And so we have 2, 110, right? So you are dealing with cosec 2, 110. Plus, let's do it gradually. Here will be 4 cosine. Okay, let's leave all of this one since they are already between 0 and but here will be what? Will be tan. This also we have to what? Subtract 360 because it's bigger than 360. So once you do that, we'll get 45 degree, right? Okay. So now if you look at this, this is in what? This belongs to quadrant 1, quadrant 3. This one is quadrant 2. Okay, let me do it above. So this is what? Quadrant 3. This is quadrant 2. This is also quadrant 2. And this is quadrant 1. So here we are using the reference angle. Now, since this is quadrant 3, what does that mean? It means that, and in quadrant 3, we know cosec is what is negative. So it means it's going to be minus cosec. Then now you find the reference angle, which is with 210 minus 180 degree. So here we now use reference, right? Reference angle. Plus, here, this is 150, right? 150 in quadrant 2, but cosine is also negative. So it means negative will come out, which will change this positive to minus. So this will become minus cosine. And how do you find reference angle? It's going to be 180 degree minus what? 150 degree. And then you are multiplying it by sine 120. But 120 is in the second quadrant. So in the second quadrant, sine is already positive. So this will just become sine 180 minus what? Minus 20 plus, this is 45 degree, is in first quadrant. So nothing will change. The reference angle will still be 45. So here we have minus cosec. Now this is 30 degree minus 4 cosine. This is what? 30 degrees, right? Then sine, this is what? This is 60 degrees, right? Okay. Then plus tan 45. Okay. So what is cosec 30 degree? Cosec 30 degree is going to be what? We know is the opposite of what? Is the reciprocal of sine, right? So here is going to be minus, just minus 2. Because we know that sine 30 is what? 1 over 2, right? And then you have minus, this is going to be 4 times cosine 30. Cosine 30 is root 3 over 2. Multiply by sine 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Then plus tan 45, which is 1. So here we have minus 2 minus, this is just going to be 4 times what? 3 divided by 4 plus 1. And this is minus 2. Then what? This and this will go, right? So this and this will cancel. So it's just minus 3 plus 1. So you have everything is going to be minus 4. Because you have minus 2 minus 3, which is minus 5 plus 1. So it's minus 4. So at this stage, what did we use here? It's just we use coterminal, right? And then this line we use reference angle. Okay. So here, if cosine of 170 degree is equals to k, then we want to find what is cosine of, what is this? 350 plus 2 sec 190, right? So what can we do here? So this is 170, and 170 is in which quadrant? 170 is definitely in quadrant 2, right? And we know that in quadrant 2, what do we know in quadrant 2? In quadrant 2, cosine is negative. So this is going to be, let me do it here. This is going to be minus cosine, right? And now what will be the reference angle? The reference angle, remember, is going to be, since we're in the second quadrant, it's going to be 180 minus what? 170. So this is just minus cosine of what? 10 degree equals to what? K. And this is like saying that cosine of 10 degree is equals to what? Minus K. Okay. So now let's come and use it here. Here we have what? Let me write it here. You have cosine 350 degree plus 2 sec what? 190. So what is cosine 350? If you look at this, 350 is in which quadrant? It is in the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, we have what? Cosine to be positive. So using reference angle theorem, this is going to be cosine of what? 360 minus what? Minus 350 degree. Okay. Then plus 2 sec what? Sec 90. This is like 2. What is 190? If you look at 190, 190 is in which quadrant? Is in the third quadrant, right? Okay. Now, since it is in the third quadrant, we know secant is going to be negative. So this plus will change to negative. So we have negative sec. And how do you find it? It's going to be 190 minus what? Minus 180. Because this is in which quadrant? This is in quadrant 3. But this is in what? Quadrant 4. Okay. Yes, you can just use 1 for IV. And this is in quadrant 3. Okay. So now what do we have here? So this is cosine of what? 10 degree minus, this is 2 sec of what? 10 degrees. Okay. And now this is the same thing as cosine 10 degree minus, what is 2 sec? This is the same thing as 2 times 1 over cosine of 10. But we know that cosine of 10 degree is minus k. So here we'll have minus k minus 2 over another minus k. So this is what we have. And this is going to be minus k plus 2 over k. Because this minus and this minus will become plus. And we can try to make the LCDs to be the same. And that is by multiplying both sides by k over k. So we can multiply this by k over k, multiply this by k over k. So this is going to be minus k square plus what? Is it plus 2k? Okay. Let me see. Here we have minus k. Okay. 2k. Yes. So it seems something is... All right. So here we don't need to multiply this by k. So we just need to multiply this first term only because we want to make the denominator to be the same. So this is going to be minus k square plus 2 over k, which we can write as 2 minus k squared all over k. Okay, so for this one, number 7, we want to find sine minus 590. So the same. This we can add by coterminal. This becomes what? Minus 5. We can actually add 720, right? We can add 720 to this one to make it positive. Now, once it's positive, then here we cannot use 360 because minus 590 plus 360 will not give us a positive. So this, but if we use 590, we'll have 130. So this is 130 degree, right? And now since this is 130 degree, But this is by coterminal, right? And now you can see that this is in which quadrant? In quadrant 2. So, and sine is positive, so it's just still going to be sine. Now 180 degree minus what? 130 degree. And this is going to be sine of what? 50 degrees. So we can leave it since we cannot find. It's not one of those standard acute angles. So this one, the exact value of cosec 225. So 225 already is between 0 and 360. So we can find its quadrant easily, right? So we can find its quadrant easily. 225 should be in quadrant 3. Here, two things you can do. This is minus. Here we can add 360 to it. So it's okay. So this is, so let me just keep it first like this at this level. Let me keep it. It's already a good number. But this one becomes tan of what? Of 120, right? And then plus sine of 150. So all the angles are between 0 and 360. Then now I will use the fact they are quadrant. This is in quadrant 3. This one is in quadrant 2. And this is also in quadrant 2. So now in quadrant 3, cosec is going to be negative. So this is minus cosec. And here it's going to be 225 minus 180 because we're in quadrant 3. But we're multiplying. Tan is negative in quadrant 2. So it means another negative will come out. So we will have two negatives here. So we'll have another negative, right? So we'll bring it out since it is multiplication. And this is going to be tan of what? 180 minus what? 120, since we're in the second quadrant. Then plus sine is positive in the second quadrant, so the sign will not change. So this is sine, then 180 minus what's 150. Minus minus is gone, so this has become cosec of what? Is it 45? 45 degree, right? And this is tan of what? 60 degree. Then plus sine of 30 degrees. Cosec 45 is just what? Just root 2, right? Then tan 60 is root of what? Root of 3. Then plus sine 30 is 1 over 2. So this is just root of 6 plus half, which is the same thing as half plus root of 6. Okay. So similar here, the exact value of this is, so what we can do here is this we can write as sine. This one we can add as much as we can add. We can make it positive. We need to add what? If you take k to be 3, k to be 3, that is going to be plus 1080. But this number is still going to be negative, right? It's still going to be negative. So here we can take maybe k to be 4, right? So we have 4 times 360, which will be 144. So if you take k to be 4, it's going to be 4 times 360. But this is still going to be negative number. So maybe we take k to be 5. 5 multiplied by 360 is still going to be, a big number, right? Yeah. It's going to be 1,800, but this is this. So I think the best bet will be to take k to be 6. Yes, to take k to be 6. So here we can add 6 times what? 360. So here we are taking k to be 6. Now this is going to be sine minus 1860 degree plus this will be 2,160, right? Is it? Okay. So now if we add this two, what do we get? We get just 300. So this is sine of what? 300. And now we can take the quadrant. This definitely is in quadrant number 4. So in quadrant number 4, sine is negative. So this is minus sine. Then how do we find reference angle? It's going to be 360 minus what? 300. So you have minus sine 60 degrees, right? And this is just minus root 3 over 2. So here, what are we trying to do? We're trying to find coterminal first. Up to this point. Then here, we're using reference angle. Okay, so this last question, question number 10. So for question number 10, we have that tan 20 degree is A, and we want to find this term. So let's begin with this one. You can see that this 160 is in which quadrant? So let me write it here. Tan 160 degree plus what? Tan here minus 3. I can add what? I can add 720 to it to make it what? To make it positive, right? Yeah, to make it positive. And this will give us what? This will give us, let's say, 340, yeah? 340. So this will be tan 160 degree plus what? Tan 340 degree. So this is just coterminal. Okay. So here we can use the quadrant now. This is in which quadrant? This is in the second quadrant. And this is in the what? In the fourth quadrant. So if this is in the second quadrant, tan is negative. So you have minus tan, right? But the reference angle is going to be 180 minus what's minus 160, right? So we have minus 160 plus here also in the fourth quadrant, but in the fourth quadrant here, tan is negative, so it's going to become minus tan. Then how do you find the reference angle? 360 minus what? 340. Okay, so this become minus tan 20 degree minus tan of what? This is still another 20 degree, right? But you can see that here, we know that tan 20 degree is A. So this is just become minus A, and this is minus 2A. All right, so this is the end of the solution to the exercises. If you have any comments, you can put it in the comment section. You can share with your friends if you find it interesting. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe for my channel if you're new, and also like the video for wider coverage. Thank you for watching.